Hey, welcome guys. It's Robin here. Thank you for joining me on Oracle Rising. So I am going to talk about some really low vibrational habits that you guys need to basically kick in order to help you live your best life. Okay, so when I talk about stuff like this, these are people that really sort of get stuck in a track of these habits, one or all of them, and it can really keep your vibration low. So when you're in a low vibrational mode, sorry, I've got a hair in the way here. This is the energy that you're transmitting out to the universe. And these are the experiences that you will rocket back into your life. And then that causes even more misery, lowers your vibration even more, and just keeps you from experiencing everything beautiful in your life, okay? Something else I wanted to mention is that you could be really close to somebody that is stuck in this sort of swirling the drain behavior. So it could be a little bit important for you to pull back from that person, which could be a little bit difficult, you know, because you might start to feel responsible for them, or you feel like that you're their lifeline or whatever. But people really need to come into an understanding of maintaining their high vibration without dragging other people down with them when they're going through very challenging times. I'm not saying don't help people. I'm just saying don't become victimized by somebody that is in like a hermit mode or a dark night of the soul, and they're just like way out of control with their vibration. They're all over the place and they're a disaster. If the disaster is you, you're really going to have to start taking control of what is going on in your thoughts. I listen to Power Thoughts meditation clubs, warrior affirmations in the morning while I'm getting ready. And one of the statements is, I am the architect of my thoughts. Okay, so this is going to be an incredibly important point for you as you move through this list and maybe recognize that some of these things are resonating with you, or you're observing them in other people, okay? That you are the architect of your thoughts, okay? So the first low vibrational habit that I have is feeling shame or guilt about something, okay? This is like such a tough one because maybe you did something really crappy to somebody, or you weren't able to save somebody, or, you know, you wish you could have traded places or something, okay? Just some horrible incident. You're feeling shame or guilt, or maybe you're just feeling shame or guilt because of the way that you were raised, okay? I know a lot of people that grew up with people that should have probably not been parents, and they were just made to feel like an inconvenience, or, you know, they were hated or whatever. So children internalize that. They don't look at their parents as, you know, somebody that should be distanced from. They absorb that at a very young age, and that will continue for them, okay? So there's all kinds of different triggers for shame or guilt. If you are feeling feelings of shame and guilt, you really have to identify when this happens so that you can help that, okay? You really need to fix that. Sometimes you need professional help. Sometimes you need an energy cleanse, you know, just whatever it takes. But the first step is noticing when these feelings show up so that you can actually take some sort of affirmative action, okay? We really need to avoid criticism and judgment, okay? And I talked about this before, you guys. The universe, spirit, that does not know the difference between your self-talk and your criticism and judgment of other people. And I find this one incredibly difficult to manage. So if somebody has a tip on that, like, just go ahead and pop it down below in the comments, because I could really use help with that, quite frankly. Like, I'm in a situation where I have like zero respect for somebody, honestly, like, quite frankly, but I'm forced to interact with them on a continuous basis. And the self-talk and the criticism and the judgment of this person is really overwhelming for me. So I know it's actually bringing me down too. So if you guys want to send me some healing love on that one, I would really appreciate it. So the criticism of self and the criticism of an external force, it doesn't matter. It's all the same, okay? Because that criticism, it's wearing you down. It's grinding you down. That judgment of somebody else is going to have the same effect. And I'm experiencing this firsthand right now, you guys. So I absolutely commiserate with that one. All I do for myself right now is I say, well, the universe is listening, so just try and stop that. It's okay. Everything is fine. I try to coach myself out of it and move on. But man, it can be really overwhelming, especially when there's somebody that you so strongly do not resonate around you. So that just goes right into negative thoughts, okay? I watched this movie ages ago. It was called Numb. I really recommend that for you. Somebody had a clicker and they had to click it every time they had a negative thought, and they became aware of like, wow, and there is a 30-day positive thought challenge to see if you can get through 30 days without one negative thought. Nightmare. I mean, I think as long as we're sort of dealing with other people, it's very difficult to not have that happen, okay? So again, tips and tricks, you guys. You got to be aware of this stuff. Just cut it out as soon as possible. Say a really positive thing afterward. These are all very overwhelming things to deal with in our society right now because we're constantly getting bombarded, okay? So this one is at the top of the list with fear and worry. It's like if you notice the news, it's one thing after another, after another, after another. Oh, it's a pandemic, it's murder hornets, it is like global weather patterns. It is just one thing after another, and then we're just being encouraged to worry about everything and be scared of everything. Be scared about your neighbors. Be scared about walking in the dark, be scared about your financial existence. And it's like, the thing I tell myself is, I'm safe in the universe, okay? Everything is going to be okay. That's not really anything that I struggle with anymore. I used to be a very scared individual, but right now I'm like, everything's okay, So fear and worry is something to really identify because, of course, the vibrations that you're emitting is what you're going to pull into yourself, and then they just get amplified, and you're like, what is this all about, right? So fear and worry, strategies: shut off the TV, stop listening to news, stop reading the news, stop listening to people that are freaking out about everything. People that are bringing this emotion into you, these low vibrational habits, you've got to limit your time with them, no matter what platform it is on. So victim mentality, like this is like, why is this happening to me, and just really feeling like this one is a real tragedy, and this can be brought on by many, many situations. And of course, being in all these other low energy situations is just going to create more low energy situations. So then you do feel victimized, but then you start to realize that I'm doing this to myself. So how can I challenge myself to rise higher above negativity and be the warrior in my life? Which is why I listen to Power Thoughts Meditation Club's warrior affirmations every morning, okay? And then I listen to gratitude affirmations at the end of the day when I'm going to sleep. And the whole way along the day, I am reminding myself, okay, don't think like that. That's really inappropriate. It's not working for my highest goals and aspirations. That's just not who I want to be. So, I mean, you really have to be your own cheerleader. So just don't give up on yourself, okay? This is going to maybe take a little bit more work, okay? So lack of trust is another really low vibrational habit. And I think this one is like, I think it's valid. Like, how are you supposed to trust people? So you could just sort of sit back and allow the situation to unfold and allow people to show their true colors without immediately like distrusting somebody. Or, you could just say, okay, well, let's say, for example, you get a phishing email. You could just do a little bit of investigation, right? And say, oh, I got this weird email. And then you probably get loads of results where it was a phishing scam. People, you don't have to trust people right away. Nobody says that you have to, but you don't have to distrust them right away unless they've got some sort of, history with somebody else and you're already aware of them. But, people can change and evolve over time. But anyway, lack of trust, just really try and keep your emotion on a flat line about that and say, I'm going to do a little bit more investigation work. I'm going to let people just show me who they really are before I get involved with them, before I get in a romantic relationship or a business relationship. That's just a given. You should just really see people for who they are before you give trust, instead of jumping in with both feet, not finding out enough about a situation or a person, learning that you cannot trust them, and then basing everything else in your life off of that one bad experience, okay? This last one is a tough one for a lot of people, feeling like you don't deserve things. So this is something you can really observe in yourself quite quickly, and you can just pick it up by the way that you talk, right? Your speech patterns, the way that you type out messages. It's like, I really feel like I'm taking up too much of your time. I'm really sorry that I have to ask you this question. I feel really bad that you bought me lunch. Hold on, my space heater just came on. It's super loud. It's like minus 37 while I'm recording this. So it's a little bit chilly. But anyway, feeling undeserving. Like not being able to take gifts without feeling like, oh, I owe this person something. That is not the case, okay? The universe delivers you gifts through other people. So instead of apologizing, oh, I can't take that, I just feel too bad, going into that whole routine, that song and dance, learn how to say thank you. Stop everything else that you're saying. Like, I really appreciate your time. You can get back to me when you have a minute. I really appreciate that gift. Thank you so much. Without feeling obligated to rush out and get that person something in return, okay? So, feeling undeserving is such a horrible feeling, like, oh, I shouldn't be getting this from you. And this also denies more gifts coming in from the universe, because if you can't take a simple, even a compliment, how are you going to accept your wildest dreams, right? So really observe your own thought patterns, the way that you are typing out emails, the way that you are responding to other people, and start catching these low vibrational things as they happen and go, whoa, I need to work on that. Like, how can I switch this around and be more positive so that I can pull in more positive experiences and people and just have a really good time in my life instead of feeling so mick all the time, and just down, and attracting in other people that are like this and say, like, why are all my friends insane? So anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to wrap this up, and I'm going to wrap myself up. I'm going to find a thicker sweater. So guys, take care. Bye.